Hey y'all, 91 Bravo here. I want to make a quick video on how I strop my blades. Today I'm going to strop my Izula 2. There she is. I cut up some carpet this morning that was down in the basement. Made about 10 or 15 long hard cuts with it just to break it down small enough to put into the dumpster. But before I usually use a knife, I like to reprofile it just to thin the edges out a little bit and even them up and maximize the cutting. It's got a bunch of gunk on it, but I reprofile with this black DMT 8" by 2.5" stone. It's an interrupted diamond surface, 220 grit. It makes quick work of reprofiling and fixing dents, dings, and rolls in your edge. From there, I'll move on to my red DMT stone, also an 8" by 2.5". This is a 600 grit. I usually like to stop at 600 grit on my folders or my knives that I use every day, because to me 600 grit is a happy balance between a fine toothy edge and a coarse polished edge, which gives you the best of both worlds in slicing and push cutting. So with that being said, I'm going to strop on this for a little bit. It shouldn't take it very long because it was super sharp this morning before I started using it. But I like to keep the edge perpendicular to the strop. And if you notice, the area right in the tip, in order to keep it perpendicular, the back of the handle slightly lifted. And as you're moving down the strop, following the contours of the blade through the belly down to the flat spots, the handle drops slightly. You want to try to keep the same angle on every pass on the strop. I'm by no means a professional videographer, but I'm just getting into this video thing, and I'll do the best that I can. I'm basically doing this for my Essie brothers on the Essie forums so they can gain a little bit of insight into how I do things. It's by no means the way to do something, but it is a way to do this. By the way, I'm using what I call my monster strop. It's a black piece of black palm. It's real heavy, dense, a real splintery wood. It's got quite a heft to it. I've got custom leather pieces ordered from our very own Flex the Sheep Master. It's 18 inches by 3.5 inches. I've got black compound on this side, and on the other side I've got a combination of green and brown. So I'll strop on this a little bit more. I usually like to do 4 or 5 passes on each side. This is basically muscle memory after you've done it for so long. I could finish on the green and brown side, but I don't see a need for it. Black's always been good for me. Usually when people send me a knife and want me to sharpen it and put a mirror polished edge on it, I'll finish on this side. But for today, it's my user knife. I just want it back to working sharp. We'll see how this does. Pretty good. I can feel the grittiness of it passing through the paper. That's good enough for me. That's working sharp for me. Well, shit. Well, this is my Spyderco Mannix 2 XL diamond light coating DLC. This is one of my favorite knives. I've got a mirror polish on this thing, mainly for shits and giggles, just to see just how sharp I can get it. I'm going to touch it up. Same deal. Keeping the consistent angle in the push and the pull strokes. I'm not using a lot of pressure on the strop, but I am using a bit more than just the weight of the blade, but I ain't really bearing down on it. See how that does. Oh yeah, that's much smoother than the Izula 2. That's sharp enough for me. Bravo, sharp.